And nice. Okay, we're live. So, welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Sense podcast. I'm your host, Blake. Tonight, I am very privileged to have a lot of very intelligent, very smart, very fun people to talk with. Today, we're going to be talking about the state of black. So, basically, what we're going to do is talk about the year 2020 with all its craziness and sanity, and whether or not we've made any kind of progress. Have we moved forward in a good direction? Are we falling backwards? Have things gotten kiboshed from us? Was it a movement that we started, but we haven't necessarily had a chance to finish? Yeah, so basically we'll just go around the room first. Neldy, you go first.
Neldy, I just introduced myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Neldy, I know you said smart, but I'm not smart. I just know too much stuff. I live too much. I feel like that's what it is. I've gone through too much shit, so that's why I know a lot, but I ain't smart. Photography, visuals,
There you go.
socials, that's pretty much it, man. I'm a regular dude that talks shit a lot.
It's cash money nowadays. Johnny, Mr. Jonathan Williams.
Yep. Coach Jonathan Williams, trainer, squad coach. No Blizzy Blake for forever now, like about 20
Ever.
years now, even beyond that. Yeah, just still in the industry. Fitness has been my thing for the last 12 years. And yeah, just a visible minority in this industry trying to make things happen one day at a time.
And Wizzy Moon Chaser.
Weezy Moon Chaser, podcaster, and I host the Morning Detour, which is the only black morning show in the city.
There you go. Mr. Jamal.
Jamal, Army veteran. I always feel weird saying that though. I always feel weird saying that though. Now I own my own motorcycle custom shop, and I fight in the ring and cage here and there.
And Miss Dee.
Hi.
Miss Destroyer.
Yes, Dee the Destroyer. I am also a podcaster. I'm a show host and I guess content creator here in Montreal. Trying to do the black thing influence-wise.
There you go. All right, so I'll start this off. So I got this idea to have this podcast probably about a week ago. It was actually funny. I was listening to guys talking about that fight with Jake Paul that had with Nate Robinson, and can't remember what this girl's name was, but he was being interviewed by two black sports analysts, two females, and they came out and said that asking, "Do you think it's racist that you beat up Nate Robinson?" And I kind of sat there like, I was like, how did... And so that got my brain going in a weird direction because I was sitting there thinking like, okay, so yeah, it's 2020 and everything is backwards and we don't know what we're doing and things are fucked up. But it got me thinking, if we're in a state, 2020 was kind of like the year of where we actually I think we put our foot in the ground and we said like, we're not doing this anymore. Like this whole revolving door of we get the TV time and the social movements for a couple months and everything, and everyone's all about Black Lives Matter and this, and then it all dissipates and goes away. I feel like 2020 was the year that we kind of put our foot in the ground and said, listen, this is not a some of the time thing. This is not a month. This is a all the time thing. This is a thing that we all need to like kind of put our foot down and say, fuck this. We're here. We do our thing. If you don't like it, then just get the fuck out of the way. We don't need you. Right? But what kind of struck me weird was this lady sitting here throwing out the term racism for a completely asinine reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're setting us back by doing this kind of thing. You're taking our movement, the movement of the community, and basically turning it into a soundbite. And this has always been our problem, is that whenever we do start making progress, all of a sudden someone decides that, well, I can make more on my own, selling the movement out throughout underneath everybody, as opposed to, truly trying to create change and bring everyone together. So that was kind of like where this whole thing started out for me. What has 2020 been to you guys, as far as how do you guys feel that we've progressed in 2020?
You're talking about as Black people or as content creators or as culture?
All three. I want to touch all three of them. I want to go everywhere. Doesn't matter.
Well, even just looking at the promise of Didi, I'll go on and say that I think this has been the year of the creator. I think finally content creators have been acknowledged as like, oh shit, because now everybody's fucked, right? Everybody had to stay home, and now the most interesting people had stepped up to the forefront. So this year, you finally really saw who's really a content creator, who's really an influencer, who really has substance behind them, because a lot of people were just banking on everyday life. So now when we're constrained now and people have to adapt, that's when you really see who's really good at what they do. Because, for example, a real quick example, look at the DJs. Before the pandemic, everybody was a DJ. Pandemic happened, now you start realizing, I don't see certain people because some people don't own their equipment, which means they weren't willing to bank on themselves. Mm-hmm. I know Didi. I know for a fact Didi banks on herself. So I always work with Didi because I want people that's all chips in the way I'm chips in. So that's an example. This has been a year of the creator for me. It's been a beautiful year. We weed out the thin on this one.
Big snaps on that. Yep.
Yeah. To touch on that, like I said, I know you, Blake. I know you, John, for years now. Like since 2000, guys. It's crazy. And like, just what you're talking about. Look at John. First lockdown happened. John was out there putting up videos every day about like getting people in shape, workout, this and that. I mean, every day I put on my Facebook or Instagram. There's John's face. I'm like, look, there he is again. Like, no, but like I was hating him. I was like, there we go. That's my guy though, right? That's like he's out here like pushing people. He didn't stop, man. That's crazy. But what I mean is crazy. Is like you saw who just gave up, kind of was like, whatever, I got nothing going for me now, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I own my own bike shop. It's in my garage, but like, I do soft marketing for it, but like, trust me, it's rolling in there. And like, I don't push out too much about it, but I still get it going, and get it going. People come in every day fixing their bikes and this and that. And I'm like, I never stopped rolling, but I see all these other companies stop. They're shut down or whatever happened to them, and it's just like it's like Moonshine just said. It's about creator content who has substance and who is beyond
it's the consistency for me. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can touch on that. I'll say this year's been the year of opportunity, meaning if you're sitting at home and you were just thinking, this year I'm just going to shut down and like step back, then you ain't doing shit. Yeah. So everybody else that was going, you know what? I'm going to take this year to reimagine what I do. I'm going to put out content every day. And the thing that happened this year is no one's looking for the big companies to give them handouts. It's that everybody has their own product. You go see the person directly. So now that when I'm putting out something, or if someone is looking for me for like a collab or whatever else, I have the work behind that I did all of this year. Instead of me going to them going like, can I do something with you? It's different now. I own my own audience. We come together. You are looking for that audience because everybody's at home. They're all looking for one person. You go see Blake. You go see another coach. You go see any radio show that you like. They have their own audience. You don't go transplant an audience from a network or from so it's been very interesting.
Yep, it's been very, like Weezy said, it's like you were all doing something before the lockdown, for the pandemic, and now that it happened, you get to test if you were really about that for real, and if you're really willing to innovate and to push through the fact that people are not going to work. If you were counting on people going to work, and while they're going to work listening to your shit, well, you're screwed. What are you going to do now? And yeah, it's the consistency. It's hard.
Okay, so in saying that though, so it's always been my view that, and I talked to Neldy about this when we were when I had that first podcast with him. But as Black people, we definitely have some of the most creative outlets out there. we're the most, as Wizzy said a lot of times, we're the most mimicked people on the planet. Many people from many different parts of the world who don't even know anything about us will, mimic our style, mimic our music, everything under the sun, right? But there's always been one thing that's kind of struck me, is kind of like what I touched on before, was that we always seem to get the shit sold out from right underneath us. You know what I mean? We always got that Judas complex where it's like we seem to be going in the right direction. We seem to be doing things on the right avenue, but then something happens and it all gets derailed. I did me and Wizzy did a podcast at the beginning, right after George Floyd.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We said, and he asked me a question. He's like, what's the one thing you fear about all this? And I was like, that we're going to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
That we're going to lose that zero focus, and that, like, that keeping our eye on the prize, getting real systematic change happen everywhere. And it's happened. I'm happy that it has. But at the same time, we look at what's happened, right? It's turned into this whole social justice thing about you can't say this about this, you can't put these people in here, you can't talk to these people about this. And instead of opening doors and creating a dialect, which I think would have a lot of us wanted to happen, what it did do is it turned everything around and just kind of started pointing the finger at other people, saying, you're the problem, you're the reason this is happening, you're the reason this is happening. So in saying that, do you guys agree with that? Do you disagree with that? Do you see it in a different light? Do you think there's like something not there? Like, what's your guys' feeling on that?
Mm-hmm. I personally think that the whole, we talked about it, it happened, and everybody was really up in arms at the beginning, was a great thing. But like you said, it created a lot of social justice influencers or something like that.
Everybody became an activist all of a sudden.
and they were not consistent because they were really loud about it in the beginning, and then a lot of them you can't exactly
all gone.
And the reasons why you did it were a little shady to me, because is it about you or is it about the movement? And that's why the real change that you're talking about is not there, because the reasons why they started doing it were not the right ones, in my opinion.
I agree. I also think that this year's been the most, that I've experienced where people have been so far divided. Meaning, really, you're either on one side or another. There's no middle. Everybody is. If you're not with Black Lives Matter, you're a racist. If you are like literally, if you think any way conservatively, you are against Black people and you want slavery to come back. It's just not been nowhere in the middle. But there's that part in the middle is where you have conversation where you're like, if we want things to move, both sides have to come through. And the other part that bothered me this year too is those extreme sides are the ones that have been the loudest, but they're not the most. It's not the most people that are there. Everybody, 80% in the middle. Everybody's in the middle is where we are, and the people in the middle are like, I'm going about my life, and I think things are sensible. And you know what? Why can't we come together? And all you hear on social media or in the news is all the crazy people that are on one side or on the other side too loud. That's the part that to me felt like this year felt like the most I've ever felt like things are actually moving, but also like that I'm scared of the other group also. You know what I mean?
But this is the funny thing. Oh, Jamal, you're gonna go?
No, go first.
No, I was just gonna say the other group is more scared of you than us of them. So that's the funny part. But we're all Black here, right? Have you guys ever asked yourself, how would we, like, if we were to take ourselves and we had a fucking time machine and we went back to the time of like Malcolm X, civil rights, the 60s? How would we? See, Nelly, I've always asked myself that, right? As real Black people, right? How would we have fared in the 60s where we couldn't drink from this fountain, we couldn't sit in this bus? And I think about the people that's propagating themselves as activists for our movement now, as like, and I go back to what the podcast I did with Blake. It's like, yo, nobody's even willing to talk. So I'm like, how are we supposed to resolve a problem? If I have an issue with Jamal, and I'm saying I don't fuck with Jamal, Jamal's I don't fuck with Weezy, That's not get resolved. And it was okay. Well, we all know Jamal, we don't like each other, and then it was just saying that no one's willing to talk to each other. They just and the fucked thing about the black community is that there's uncomfortable conversations within our own community that we need to have with each other before we can even say this white person, that person. We have a lot of fake Negroes among us, and especially in this city, a lot of people that are black activists or black leaders are not people that we voted in, or people that the white people tend to say, hey, these are the guys for us, and they're not genuine. They don't do it for the community; they do it for self. And this is the problem I have with a lot of people in the city. If you're gonna say I'm a black community leader, that means that you work for me. That means you're representing me when you go to office, when you sit up on TV. So now if that's the case, how come everybody's for self and no one's even there to serve the community? Like it's a weird place. It's like our own. So the white people, every ethnicity in the world knows this. I've sat down with everybody. Everyone knows black people can't work with each other. Everyone knows we will kill ourselves. We will shoot ourselves in our foot. Now, Natalie, you're shaking your head. Some of us could work together. I always get pushback on some of us could work together. And Coach Jonathan, you know this. A lot of people like yourself say, you know what? I'm going to take those that could work together. I'm just going to move like that. But when we sit down, we have a bigger picture of things. It's not the small group of people that can work together. People, when they look at black people, they look at all of us. So all those fuck niggas, we got to associate them too. Candace Owens, we're not a fan of Candace Owens. Some people, the black conservatives. But there's some things about black conservatism I can like. And there's some things about liberalism I can like. And I think we all can agree that we've all voted for liberal for a long time, but I don't think it's really served us well. So how bad could black conservatives really be? But if you're a black conservative, you're a sellout. So I don't know. Liberals haven't helped me either. Liberals have created this space where it's like we're a handout culture. I don't want no handout. I understand as black people, we can't just build ourselves and do our own thing and progress. Why can't we just do that?
That's the part.
That's the part we can't do that.
Yeah, that's the part I agree with you. Yeah, like I think that's the.
No, Natalie, there's half of black people that love the handouts.
I agree with you. I agree with what you said. I'm just saying more like I agree with you with like the liberal part. Like we haven't done
the conservative.
Just assume that we all vote liberal as a group. Like we all go together in the huddle and was like liberal this year. Let's go. Like team go liberal. Like they all think they did. But like because
the Biden quote.
Yeah, but because they do that, they automatically assume it, so they don't come and see us to go like, what do you guys actually want to do? Yeah. Just assume we have your votes by.
And I think put somebody up there who's supposed to represent us.
We don't even know who it is. I don't know who it is.
And then on the conservative side, they also don't really try because well, we're not gonna get that vote, so let's not try at all. So I agree with you what you're saying that maybe yes, there's some stuff in conservative values or conservative agenda that might work for us. That there's a lot of stuff that we've done in liberal side that has not worked for us either. But for me, I think the biggest part that I've learned is more like, why don't we just go and say we're not voting for nobody until you come to us with a plan, and then we all go, this works.
And I agree with you on that. I think at the same time, like when I was growing up, and my mom gets those little ballots that comes in the mail, and she's like, Jonathan, I'm gonna have to vote for somebody. I don't know who to vote for. You know? I'm thinking about liberals and thing, but I don't know who to really vote for. I see her mom like, who do you trust? Exactly. You know the people that you trust in the first place? She's like, no, I don't. I'm like, so is it gonna make any change in our community in the first place? She's like, nah. You know what? To hell with this. I'm not even voting. You can vote for me. Just put my name down, okay? I'm gonna go and do it, but. You know, we have to pay taxes to somebody at some point. Like, this would be the ongoing like talk that would be in my house for years and years and years growing up as a kid. And I grew up in Little Burgundy, and back in those days, Little Burgundy wasn't as diverse and as
No, it wasn't gentrified yet.
It was very gentrified. And I mean, as a black kid growing up there and living in a condo while everybody else next to you is living in a co-op or living in like a subsidized house, or like the white folks across the street, they're living in a nice like duplex Victorian style like well done home, and then I'm walking out with Velcro strap shoes, and you know and my pants are too short for me, like, and all I can think about is who's there to support me. Right? Who's there to support my people, my family, like the upbringings that are the people that are inspiring me on a daily basis. And honestly, I had no real black figures in my own borough that I could look up to and be like, this person inspires me. You know, like this person I can like go to as a resource and be like, you know what, we need to rally together so that we can have a stronger community together, so that when it comes time to vote, we have something to say. We have some value behind it. We have some, we can back up the substance and the incidents that have gone on in our community for so long, and have weight on it with not just one person, a collective group of people, not just 5 people, and we go, I don't know Tom, I don't know Dick, I don't know Harry, I don't know Sarah, I don't know Tom, I don't know these people, but okay, well, they're representing us. No, what are they really doing for us? Yeah, that's what it comes down to, you know.
Very true.
And the weird thing is, though, like you were talking about, like we were talking about black conservatism, it's a weird thing that it's like every time we get into a position where it feels like we're going to start doing something, or we start to see the forest through the trees, because that's the whole, I think that is one thing that came out of 2020, is that black conservatism thought process, where we start seeing that, you know, the liberals always, like liberal media always makes it as if they're doing us a favor. Yeah, they're enabling us to, oh well, you know, we're fighting for your right to do this. We want you to do that. We love you to do, you know what I mean? We're here for you. It's like, dude, I don't want you to be here for me. I want you to get out of the way so that I can do my own thing and empower my own people. I don't want you to be my middleman. I don't need that. I need you to move so that I can move forward in my own. But in saying that,
that's that systemic racism things that they don't want to admit to.
Yeah. No, it's lower here. It's lower. It's lower, so it makes it better. Because we're all idiots. We all go to school.
We're all
it's lower here.
Yeah. No, actually, you make a pretty good point there, but I would put it in reverse. You see, like in a stadium, we're in the bleachers. Yeah. And they're front row. And for them, they're like, hey, if you want to sit front row, come on down. But it's going to take a while to get down the front row. And guess what? There are not too many seats down at front row.
No, you might have to stand.
Got to give up a seat for you to sit here. Good luck. You got a whole way.
No, you're right.
Front row, buddy.
It's legit that. Like, come on down, but we're going to give you the wrong instructions. Yeah.
Then nosebleeds, man. It puts in the nosebleeds with no resources, no support, no nothing. Come on now.
You know the most shameful thing? I played the Locke sample when he sat on. I don't know if you guys saw the article when he sat on Mitsumi Takahashi, and he said, so he'll never say. So a couple months ago there's no systemic racism in Quebec. Now as of last week, Blake, it's lower here. So he feels good about it, but still, but I'm like, so this one I'm on the radio. I'm like, why doesn't he just say this racism in Quebec? Why is it so hard for him to make this just racism in Quebec? Like everybody just wants to fight it. Like, why does it say it's there?
Because if he says it, then his base of the other people that are not in Montreal, all the see, that's the thing. People think like Montreal is, when people think of Quebec, they think of Montreal. They don't think about anything else.
Yeah, right? Quebec is French.
Yeah, but there's a whole other side, right?
Yeah.
And these people, that's who he's catering to. Yeah. We are sure we're Montreal and we vote, but there's more of them. So he has to cater to them. If he says there's systemic racism, they're gonna go, well, I'm not racist. How dare you tell me I'm racist? Exactly. I've never seen a black person in my life. I watch him on TV all the time. I love Gregory Shaw. He's the best. I've never said that.
I grew up on there was a Martin and there was Gregory Shaw. But here's the joke though. If you Google it, you'll find out. That makes it seem like, blacks, you guys just came to history. Don't you guys remember your history class in high school, right? They only talk about us right after the fur trade, and then and then slavery. That's it. We've been here since the fucking 1600s. Yeah. Blacks, not Italians, not Poles, we've been here forever. We've been since So check their play. So I spoke to one of the top teachers in the country. I was like, okay, why don't they teach the real black history in school? They're like, how it works is that every province chooses their curriculum that uploads their values that they want to put. Oh shit, this is it's by design. They don't want nobody to know. They don't want Didi going to school to be like, oh shit, there was a black woman that invented the security cameras. There was a black guy that invented the traffic light, but yet we're still animals in the zoo. What kind of foot? How did we get back? I was asking Blake, how did we get bamboozled? How did we go from, not all of us were king and queens. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Everybody wasn't a king and queen. But how did we go from, but no, that's a fact. Somebody had to work. Everybody was a king and queen. I did research. Everybody was a king and queen. But how do we go, okay, simple thing. How do we go from Rosewood? How do we go from having our own Black Wall Street of millionaires to now we're indentured to them? How did that happen? And nobody, I be asking Blake that all the time. I said, Blake, I don't know, man. How do we go from being self-sufficient to being indentured to white people? How did that happen?
The facade of freedom.
Yeah.
God damn. Where was Jonathan when you needed him?
I
In
swear.
the 30s and the 40s,
Yeah.
what they used to do there was segregation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing what they weren't betting on was that we were actually going to be able to come together and create something. So we created our own businesses. We created Black Wall Street. We created our own economy. They looked at it and said, shit, they're doing more than we thought they were going to do. They got down pat. What the fuck are we going to do now? So what did they do?
Shut it down.
Yeah.
They turned around and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to abolish segregation. The same way when they freed the slaves. They said, we're going to abolish segregation. You guys are going to be even. And what that's going to do is it's going to put you guys back on the bottom of the totem pole because you're going to compete with us.
Mm-hmm.
We run everything.
There's more of us. There's more of us.
That's
You know what, Blake?
That's
Blake,
the
I
scary
love
thing,
the fact that you said that we're gonna compete with them when all they've done is suppress.
No, but that's the thing.
So they never even gave us a chance to compete. They're just basically put us in a position where.
But that's the thing. Wait. I'll give you an example. The compete part they did right. It's more like
They stack the cards in their favor.
it's basically me entering a basketball team, and then they're like, just listen, we put you in the
12th
league.
man off the bench.
I'm 5'9". No, not even that.
You're 12th man off the bench. You'll be
Not even that.
You played against the Monstars now, dude.
Exactly. I'm 5'9", and my team is all people that are 5'9s, and I show up on the court. It's like, you all compete. Your team's good. You compete with the rest of us. It's even. And I look at the other team, and I just see LeBron and the Lakers. And it's all of us teams with team 5'9". It's fair. It's fair and even because we're all in the same thing. We're all playing on the table. But when I shoot, that guy that's been there for 15 years, he dunks on my ass. He swats the ball away. He posts me up. But it's fair because they've been here forever, and I just showed up to the court. That's what they do. They just go, where's more of us? We've been there for longer. You get to be there, but you're going to start at the bottom, and we are going to beat you just like we beat everybody else.
Can I get a drink too, Didi?
Exactly.
Nelly, your point is so true. Like, it's so crazy. We can't win this. You know, some people show some stats that show that we actually did better as Black people during segregation. That's
Bring
fucking crazy.
Back. Bring it back.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So listen. I'm not against a little Black continent. I'm not against. Jonathan, are you against that little Black continent? They took hockey from us, man.
They did.
And nobody talks about that. They took hockey from us. We were beaten. It plays perfectly into Blake's point. We were killing them in hockey. So they say, you know what? We're gonna start this league with not Black people. And that league ended up turning into becoming the NHL.
They did the same thing with baseball. Yeah, everything. We would make our own leagues, and then they would go, you know what? We're gonna make the bigger league. We're gonna so y'all little league that you have, even though you're better, no one's gonna see it. It's not gonna happen. And now 80 years later, they go, oh yeah, your league, it was all right. Let's add it to like the next league. Let's bring it back in. Yeah, we're good. We're not gonna enter into real leagues. Yeah, we're good now.
Yo, I like the way you put that. But
let me go back to the segregation part, right?
Yeah.
I don't disagree entirely. I think there is, like I said, in terms of voting, we should definitely go. We're not voting until I don't care which party brings us what we need, and then we decide okay, this makes sense for us. We vote for that. Same thing with like entertainment. We go, you know what? We don't need y'all. We have their audience. Imagine the NBA with no black players.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is the problem with that. This is the problem with that, NLD. You say Montreal had 5 million black people. You'll get 1 million black people that's creative, that's forward thinking like us. And they know we can't mobilize. We need the full 5.
Yes.
There's only one we're only one that's like us.
Yes.
We need the full 5, and they know we're missing 4. They know we're missing the 4, and this is
And
the
they bet on it. They
have.
bet on the fact that we
No,
will
they
be
know.
doing the five.
No, it's guaranteed.
Mhm.
So this is the problem I keep having with Blake. I'm like, okay, how do we get the 4? So Blake is telling me, okay, we need to have open forum discussion. So I've been preaching, let's have open forum discussion. Who's gonna have open discussions with us? We need the other 4 million black people. And this is in our community, this is the problem that we have, because some of us don't agree with each other, and that's fine. Some of us have a lot of passions, and that's okay. But the problem that a lot of people is missing, that we don't focus on the larger goal, which is us abolishing systemic racism. Some of us in our community is so petty, just because they don't like me, they're not gonna join the 5. and that's stupid. And that's
Do we
stupid.
have an answer for that? Because I've been trying to figure that one out for
Well, this is what we're
longest
at.
time.
This is our.
It's
this is one of
straight
our
up
biggest problems.
hateration. It's hateration, man. It's just straight
But
up
like-
hateration.
Beyond the hateration, what about the greater goal? What about the greater good? What about that?
That's where they have like a tunnel. It's just like tunnel vision. They can't see outside the
Like
tunnel
they
vision.
will really be like, I don't like you as a person. You for this reason.
So the whole group
Whatever
suffers.
You're talking about, yes.
Listen, do you remember back in like the 2000s? It was light skin versus dark skin.
Yeah, that was the worst battle ever.
This is
still
still going on right now. Right now.
John
2020
there.
It's still there.
It's,
You know what I mean?
oh man, there's like Mr. Steal Your Girl. and
We're
all that
balanced.
stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Trey Songz was strong that run. That run was strong.
Do y'all
That
think
was
it's not still happening? Excuse me.
It's not done.
Wait, say Didi still going on? It's still
Of course,
going on.
what's going on?
Colorism
everybody-
is real. It's very real,
Yeah,
and it's
colorism-
not gone and not going anywhere.
It's a very awkward problem for us to have within our own community, the colorism thing, because it's like our own version of self-hate within ourselves, which is like the wax thing. Like, I can't look at Blake and tell Blake you're not black because one of your parents is not black. That's the most stupid thing. And we have too much stupid people in our community, and nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to say, I go in there and I say there's a lot of people in the black community, everybody gets mad. That's a fact.
No,
Because there's not enough of people like the people I'm looking at on the screen now. I know we're only 1 million. I need the other 4.
Yeah.
I need the other 4. Colorism is the stupidest shit ever. Like that's the most self-defeating shit ever. Like, it's wild.
I told
deep.
Blake.
It's deep. It's
I
deep.
explained it to Blake. My kids are mixed. Like they're beige. So
Jamal, your kids are beige too.
what color? That's the
Jamal's babies are beige too.
Or beige.
So you got a whole bunch of Blakes? Everybody has Blakes?
Yeah, you know, you say it, though, man.
Same hair,
Blake-
everything.
Blake is the new,
Blake, is it you? Is it your kids, Blake?
Blake is a new race, bro. Blake is a new race.
I'm just saying. But like what I said to Blake was, if we're all standing outside, right, and somebody calls the police, they're not gonna go, there's a bunch of black people and like 2 beige ones, and like no, they're just gonna say
that part.
there's a bunch of black people.
Yeah.
That's all they're
People
going to say.
outside, yes.
So, like, if that's how they see us, then that's how we should see ourselves too. We're all black. It doesn't matter what the shade is. We should all be welcoming. It doesn't matter to me. That stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm not dismissing the white part, but I also fully know that like visually when you're outside, no one's going to
No
know.
one cares.
Be
They're
raised
not
that
gonna
way.
go there.
Exactly. You need to know, to the eyes of everybody else, you just black.
Yeah,
you
you
know
know
this.
You need to know inside out.
But in building that point, let me add something to this now. So another thing in what I was listening to and what I was also thinking about was the fact that you don't act black. Okay, that's it. No, but listen, wait.
I get it, though, but no. I understand though. I understand what you mean.
But let me just
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and this dude was talking about, like I used to do cheerleading, blah, blah, blah. I listened to Nirvana, all this kind of stuff. And it resonated with me because listen, I grew up with a bunch of white people. I didn't really hang around like a large group of black people till I was in high school. You know what I mean? I didn't hang out with. I was segregated all the way in Point Claire, like next to the friggin', next to the water with in the small little village. Like I was by myself. My dad was the blackest man for 20 miles. You know what I mean? So I grew up not really knowing I was supposed to listen to certain music. I was supposed to do certain things. I was just being myself.
Yeah,
and
which
then
is fine.
when I get into school, high school, and I start hanging around other dudes and stuff, all of a sudden it's like you can't listen to Nirvana. You can't skate. You're not allowed to skate. You got to dress this way. You can't do this. You can't go and play.
You're
this.
supposed to, yeah.
So
that's the supposed to part that hurts me.
On expanding on that, when you're going about it, that ideal, even though that we've expanded as far as what you can do kind of thing, oh, black guys can skate, black guys can sing death metal, black guys can figure skate, whatever. There's still this onus on that. There are still things that you could like or take part in that make you less black than somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh. Trash. I fight to be the regularest, most random black person I can be.
No, you're lying, Didi. You're not regular at all. Nobody here is regular. Now this is
like regular and like what you like. There's no black things. You were just a person.
But this is another thing about that segregation.
I'm not gonna disagree with you because growing up until my mid-20s, I thought the same thing. If you didn't listen to rap and if you didn't wear FUBU, I was white. But that's
the FUBU keychain.
But that was
full blown guilty.
But that's the thing where it wasn't so much a black thing, but so much of a belonging thing.
Yeah,
like a cultural belonging thing. If you went to high school and you didn't do what everybody did, you were just the odd person out.
Yeah.
I did skateboard in high school. I did listen to Nirvana. I grew up in Longueuil, but I also moved out, and then we moved to Saint Michel, and then it was a very
it got real, huh? It got real quick. 7.5,
man. It wasn't like I went to a nice house. I went to the avenues right away, and I got met with everything that you see in the movies, and I went, oh. I gotta change real quick because I'm not doing what everybody's doing. And everybody's like, you moving kind of weird, and it's not gonna work. But at the same time, in terms of that, it also kind of made me go all right, I was doing a little bit of my own thing where people were just looking at me as I'm not fucking with that because he's doing some skateboarding. So you kind of got to see from the outside what people were acting like and being like, and you kind of decide yourself, well, I can just be me. I can be black the way I want to be. But yes, that I agree with you that that's not easy to grow up with. It's not. As an adult now, I get it more, and with my kids, I definitely 1,000%. Y'all do whatever you want. There's no way to be black. There's
no way.
But you can be regular.
No way, saying Jamal.
That's what I'm talking about. Because I had this really. My school transitioning was all kinds of messed up. So my elementary school was owned by my grandparents. Okay, there was a principal and they owned the school, which was also in Burgundy. It's called the Marcus Garvey Institute. Legit.
Yeah. I went to Marcus Garvey day camps. Okay, so I know Jamal. That's
my grandfather and my grandmother are the ones who opened this school, right?
God damn.
For grade 1 to grade 6. Black elementary school. I mean, you're learning Black history every Thursday. Every Thursday was the whole day was Black history. You're learning about Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Harriet, name it. I know these people's birthdays. That's legit. We learned this every day as a kid. Then I go to high school, PCHS in Purefall. Yeah. Legit. I'm not from Burgundy though. I'm living in Pierrefonds Elementary School. I graduated elementary school, and I go to PC because I live in Pierrefonds, right?
Yeah.
I go to PC, all white school. Now, I've been playing hockey since I'm 5 years old on ice. I'm the only black kid on the team. I'm literally in both worlds. I'm living, Black history at school, elementary school. Then I'm playing hockey with all white kids. Then I go to high school, all white kids. Then I get to high school. I'm hearing like, I talk proper. I don't speak with an accent. There's no slang in me. I'm not sagging my pants. I'm dressed nicely. I have a great vocabulary. And then I have like these white kids who are like, yo, you're not really black though. You're like Oreo. Like you're like Oreo. Black
no, not the
like,
Oreo.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, hold up.
So
I know about Black history, then you know about your own history of Canada. So shut the fuck up. Like, I'm talking about Oreo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in high school, but I'm like, there's like 3 black kids in my high school. Like at this time, like legit, like 3 black kids. I'm like one of them. Yeah. So really, like you're like outnumbered and start saying shit like, "What are you talking about, bro?" Like I know more about black culture than you could possibly imagine. Yeah. But they taught me like this Oreo, like because I play hockey, so I play soccer. Like, okay, what's your point? Like,
Rude.
It was like the most weirdest dynamic, And then I got to like Vanier, where I met Blake and John, and that's that. I was like, sort of more black people. I'm like, okay, so the black culture is this of my generation. Because all thing I knew was like the older generation of black people. I didn't know my age group of what the black culture was. It was different. So then I had to I kind of learn on the fly when I was at Vanier. But it was like that was like my whole transition of It's like I came in like kind of all straight and this and that, and I come in with like the Vanier, and it's like a bit more like the black culture, but our age of black culture, which was like being a teenager, not like some 70-year-old person who went through a struggle. Yes. You know what I mean? So it was different. It was just, I don't know, it was just way different.
Tons of layers, a lot of layers to it, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like our upbringing, our parents, and immigrating to this country and stuff like that, like what they experienced, we only got like a little fingernail of that experience. You know what I mean? But it was enough to impact us, and enough for us to feel it, but not to like the extent of what our parents have always felt. And that's why, having your upbringing, Jamal, like it just kind of sets another imprint on like our generation, because I didn't get to be educated on our culture, on like all the black representatives and like heroes that came before us, that came before our parents, or that were during our parents' era when they were growing up. So like, even though it was that Marcus Garvey school was like up the street from my house, man. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, by that park, like I'd be on my skateboard. I'm telling you, like I always heard about that school, and I always heard about the day camp, but I never went to the day camp.
You never went to the day camp?
Never did. I went to
Jamal, did you go
camp?
Of course, Jamal, my grandparents owned it.
Jamal lived there.
Okay, Jamal, we definitely bucked in. Yo, I went to Marcus Garvey Day Camp from the time I was 6 till I was a teenager. Then I went to preteen at the chalet with Skanky and Fernandum.
Oh my god!
And then on top of it, when I was 12, I did the Jamaican Association on Saturdays with Brian Smith. He taught us how to do computers and shit. That's why I'm waiting for these fucking black elitists, dude, to be like, yo, you're not really black. Your girlfriend's white. You're not really black. Like, what? I've been a part of every black program in the west side of Montreal. Marcus, if you didn't go to Marcus Garvey, take my hands off. That's the time. Oh shit! Blake, you got some real niggas here, boy. Real niggas go Marcus Garvey Day Camp. Real.
With the t-shirt and everything. I see some people taking the garbage out, rocking the t-shirt. I'm like, what are they doing with that t-shirt though? Like seriously, in the middle of summer. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think like that neighborhood is so gentrified. Little Burgundy is so gentrified. It's insane. Like since
you guys think it's bad, Jonathan? You think it's bad because it is downtown adjacent, right? So I did like we think about Montreal, like in New York. Like I did see it coming. Like you definitely saw it coming, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, I moved out in 2003, and I lived there from like 84 to 2003. Yeah. So I got to see like the evolution of it, and not to mention, I worked in the area too. Like I worked there. I mean, like once upon a time, I was a professional barber. I was cutting hair.
Yeah.
And like Jerry's coiffeur, that was my guy. That's my guy. You know what I mean? That's where he used to cut hair. So I had all the ethnicities coming here to get haircuts. Our people, of course, and like you see the you're seeing like your cousin who went out with this white guy, and now he's buying a condo that just got built like 3 blocks down the street from where you grew up. And it's crazy. Like, it's crazy because their parents are buying it for them, putting the money down, and they're making their way in there. Oh yeah, you remember? Okay, yeah. And they got a 3-bedroom condo, and the value, the cost of living going up. And what happened to us people? We got moved out. Yeah. We all got moved out. They like the government came, made sure that we had to leave the co-ops. We lost like whatever heritage we had there because of gentrification. Like it was just crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, Burgundy's a big loss. What happened to Burgundy? Big loss. Are you guys down with us having a Black Summit? That's what I've been preaching for a while. I think we need to have a Black Summit somewhere at the Ramada in Cornwall. Well, we kind of reestablish the rules. No, but you're like, but
why Cornwall? Bro, you got to go to Montreal.
No, but hold on. Jonathan's going to fill me a second. You know why I said that, John? I want to be close to the LCBD. I know if we bring Ray and Nephew to the table, there'll be a lot of Jamaicans there. If we bring Ray and Nephew to the table, it'll calm everybody down. But all jokes aside, I think we need to have a Black Summit.
Yes.
Kind of like how BT should do like the teen summit thing. I always think about that. I think we have a Black Summit where we have discussions like this, where we talk about colorism and gentrification, and the fact that they won't let us buy a house in the West Island until they finally had no choice because they're kicking us out of downtown. We need to have a summit where all the Black people come together and we reestablish these things. People that are mixed, they are Black. Are we passing the vote? Yes, they're Black. Let's move on. Light-skinned people are Black too. But I feel like we all need to get in a room. And let's reestablish the rules of engagement. I've been preaching that since day one. I said we need to have a Black Summit.
I agree that we should like. These
are the things that we are like. Yeah.
No, but I also agree. Like it or not, like you said, 1 million will have to do the stuff for the other 4 because. Yeah. But I also think that the 1 million, if we do these things where we go look, these are the things that we're going to demand. These are the things that we want. We're not voting. We're pulling all of our resources together to make sure that we have these things. And then we present that. I think it makes a bigger impact that the other 4 can see. And then we can get more and more people to join in. But I also think that that's what in 2020 that has been more of. We have, I guess it's felt like
you can see who they are now. You can see who the Melby are. You can see who the Jamals are now. Yeah. I can see, okay. Okay. These are okay. We can work together.
I agree with you too with the other thing with what happened, if people don't want to work with you, they don't want to work with you, that's fine. I'm not looking to be kumbaya with people that don't want to fuck with me, which is fine. But I'm also
sorry.
But I'm zero in if I have the resources to help someone, I will. If I have any avenue,
most Montrealers aren't like that.
I know, but that's what I mean.
We go back to the fake ones and we're
gonna kill them in 2021.
But you have to do it. You have to do it in order for them to see. You know what? You want to hate? Go on your side. And then when you come back, when you see it's working, and then we have a network of other people. You see other people connecting with each other. You see other people actually collaborating with each other, and you come back in. Then I can't just turn around and be like, "Oh, you weren't there with me at the time," so I'm going to say no. No, I'm going to welcome you back in. Whatever resources you have, we're working with it too. It don't matter. That's what I mean. So sometimes you have to do the work and get the hate.
Yeah.
And go through
I know.
You gotta do work. I've been told, well, whatever you're doing is stupid and no one's gonna listen and whatever. Go ahead, say what you want to say. But then now in 20, I've done the work. So now that I've done the work and you see, oh shit, you've been doing talks, you've been doing shit in the city. Oh, I see what you're doing. How can I help? Then I will tell you how you can help. It might not be a lot. I don't know who you are, but whatever let's just do it and then see where we can go. It's not if you can take me further than what I can do, because it's not up to me. I don't care about myself.
Okay, but my question is how do we determine the people that are like you and not the fake ones that are just taking up space, but they're acting like they're doing things for the community, but they're actually just working for themselves?
You see the work, and if they are just working for themselves, you take them out. It don't matter. You don't involve them in the rest.
Like we said, they're loud. They take up a lot of space. They make it seem.
Oh, they can be loud by themselves. There's a lot of people that are loud by themselves.
It's okay. But you see the problem with some of these guys. I'll use for example Terry Lindor. He's loud. So whether people like him or not, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I told Terry, let's do this. I go, in 25 years, I told him to Malik Shaheed and Ricky D. I said, for 25 years, you guys have been the pinnacle of urban and hip hop and everything in Montreal. Nobody has ever had you guys on a one-on-one interview, hold you guys' feet to the fire. So Terry's like, okay, I'll sit down one-on-one with you, Weezy. I said, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I get 3 interns. We do all this background research. He flakes on the interview. These guys don't want to be held their feet to the fire. Ever.
That's Oscar. No comment.
No. I just brought it as an example. I just brought it as an example because I see a lot of these guys that are really loud, and I was like, okay, well, and I told people on the show, I said, watch when it gets cold. Watch when it gets cold. Who's going to march when it's cold?
Yeah,
they know. Blake said it on my podcast. It's a long game, and they know a lot of black people get tired quick. Yeah. It's a long game. You see, besides me, I see Didi, I see a few of you guys still talking about it. All those people that was really loud in July, I can't hear them, man.
But I don't all the videos, all your engagement, all the likes.
Usa, Didi, where's all the guys? I'm the only one here like, what's up? So no one's talking about this. No one's calling the school boards. No one's still trying to push it. I'd love for us to get at least one person that we can say from our community in politics. I would like to see one of our people somewhere into politics.
Yeah, they have to want to be in politics. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the but Didi,
put somebody there.
But this is the problem. When a black person wants to get into politics, the one group that brings him down the most is his own people. That's why a lot of people get discouraged. A lot of people get discouraged.
Yep.
And I don't know the answer to that, Blake. I don't know how to change that. I don't know. When I started doing my thing, everybody told me, fuck it. I took the Rockefeller model. I bet on myself. I stacked my money and I did it my own. I don't know how to do it. Like people talk shit and what?
I think you hit it on the You hit it on the head. You've been doing your own thing. You've been stacking up your money. You've been making sure that you are in your vision, self-sufficient. And then what you do is like you reinvest it in the people that you know will help you go further. Because at some point, what I tell people all the time, I can only go as far as the people with me. I can't go anywhere without other people. And for me to go somewhere, if I can tell you how I got there, and then you go first, listen, this is the information I have. Take this, go further than me. And if you can get further than me, tell me how you got there so we can go there together. That's all you need to do. Yeah. So you just keep moving up. If you can keep moving up and you bring people with you, then it's a ripple effect. You bring more people with you day in and day out. And the people that don't want to go with you, they're going to fall off. And
this is the one hiccup.
You won't see them.
They take your info, they go, they don't make it work, and then they just stop the chain. They don't reinvest.
It's okay. Everybody thinks they can do this, Diddy. This is the one hiccup. Yeah, this is the one hiccup. So what you're explaining there, Neldy, is a forward trajectory, right? Yeah. What about those people that are already in place, say like Marcus Troy and all these guys that already have the doors open, that have already done stuff? There's people right now in our community that are in place that won't give up the keys. A lot of people here are afraid of competition. Listen, I don't want to say haters. I just said a lot of people are afraid of competition. And I always tell people, look at New York. There's 300 niggas doing the same shit. And everybody gets money. So you're telling us in Montreal, a smaller scale, we can have 40, 50 radio hosts, influencer podcasts that eat. I heard on
one network.
Yeah, I heard there was a group of Montreal creatives in the clubhouse. And someone was like, why do I have to go around to get the information if you already have it? Exactly. And the person told them, well, you just got to work harder. You just got to work harder and figure it out. And
wait. They
don't want it. I'm going to kill all of them in 2021 because I put up my own money. So what are you going to say? I put up my own. What are you going to do? They will never call my name out.
But I agree with you with that part. Is you leave them to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because when you said like, how can I go through that door? You're not going through that door.
Exactly.
But not everybody's like us. Some people want to get the help. You and I will figure it out.
Yeah, but that's the thing. that door that you said, that's the door that's already been used. That's the door.
The door is abusive.
That's the door with their name on it.
That's what
they put the name on the door. They didn't put it like for the people.
Exactly. And I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that's their door. So if you're saying they're going through that, I'm not going through your door.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go through your door. I'm trying to make my own door. My door is open to everybody else.
Yeah, but not everybody has that pedigree.
I like that. I like that. That's their door.
I agree with you with what you're saying. I'm saying that like those people, leave them to do. We don't talk about Malik Shahid anymore. It's just funny now. That door is that door.
No, hold on.
He can come and see me. I don't know him, and
I'm not even gonna roast. I'm not even gonna roast Malik and these guys. They're all trying to get like little endorsement deals and everything.
I don't know him. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying what's true. I don't know.
No, I'll say this. When I told Malik, I said, for 20 years you've been the face of hip hop. I don't think you're a good look for me, man. I'm 34. I don't think you're a good look. I think there's better people. I don't think you're a good look. And that's not a diss. That's not a diss. That's a fact.
There needs to be diversity in these things. I'm not saying that
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be at all.
Absolutely not.
20 years is not a good career, Jamal. 20 years, 24 years, no competition. Nobody's ever held your feet to the fire. We've never had a Hot 97 or Power 105 where guys will have to come up on the show and defend and promote and talk with their points until now. And nobody will come because they dodge.
And because you put it in place now, we're not. You see another Malik Shahid type? No, we don't have anymore. This is done. It didn't work. Now we have avenues where you have a show like yours when people can come up. That's the other door. That's the part where you can go, hey man, the thing that you did, I looked at the model. Yeah. I looked at your door. I peered through it and went, no, that's not for me. I'll make my own door. That's the part. You make your own door.
Look, Wiz, like you and me talk about this all the time, right? It's the question of that if you keep asking for permission to make a move, you're going to get denied every single time.
Every time.
You know what I mean? Every single time they're going to look at you and say, like, well, we know we don't have a place
thanks.
for you.
Yep.
We don't need you right now. When we need you, we'll come get you.
We have Malik.
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen. In the army, we had a saying, okay?
Yeah.
If you can't breach the door, breach the wall. Fuck it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Uppercut that motherfucker right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, that's the one bright side of COVID that we said at the top of the podcast. It showed who the best or who are the most creative creators in the city are, and that's what I like. I love the fact that I got to meet a Nelby, a Jamal, a Coach Jonathan Williams. I'm like, oh fuck, there's mad dope guys in the city. I wasn't seeing you guys before. I was cloudy. Now I'm like, okay, I feel less alone now.
Because the cloud was the industry. The cloud was people taking their seats, taking their tables, and going like, this is our table. We have these people that we have on our table. We don't want nobody else. Now there's no more table. Table's broken. Everybody's home. I have my own table. On my table, I invite who I want. I built it myself. So now when someone comes, can we join our table? Or that other table, it's like you can come sit with us. I can go, I don't need y'all up there. I'm good with my people here. We have our own table. If you want to come sit at my table, you're going to have to come and show me what you can bring to my table. Because I already have the thing. I don't need you no more.
Yeah.
I don't need your
same kind of gatekeeping as it. Yeah, it's just like like-minded people. Yes.
There's no more gatekeepers.
Yeah, like I get it. I totally get that because like you found your own path and you created your own thing. But now it's like we have to change the narrative. Mm-hmm. So now that you kind of created your own path, you created your own stage, your own platform. Now it's to set the example that others didn't.
Yeah,
and put people on.
Yeah,
and that's where you just. That's where we all grow.
Yeah.
Right? And that's that.
For me, that's
the part that I completely agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I made my own table. I'm here. Nobody talk to me. I'm saying I have my own table. Here's how I build it. Build your own. Yeah. Like so that way my table.
Let me show you. Let me show you how to build your
own. Exactly. There's not enough that going on in the city.
How about I give you my power?
Exactly.
You bring your power, and we build a powerhouse.
I put the blueprint in your hands. I come with you and I go, this is how I built it. You know what? Once you finish building it, Put your table next to my table. We're gonna make one big table, and then we're gonna keep adding tables.
No, we got a long table. Everybody's good.
And that's what I want. I
I
don't
love
need
it.
you have to make sure that when you get to some place that you go, I got here the way I got here. Here's my story. When I give you the blueprint, you do it the way you want to. I'm not saying like exactly the way I'm doing it. No. Do it the way you want to. And I might be wrong on some. I might not be doing it the right way. I'm just doing it my way, and it's working so far. And it's worked differently than because doing it their way would not bring me any joy. Would not fulfill me. Doesn't feel like it would bring anything to the table in terms of like bringing us forward, in my view. So the way I did
about about the clubhouse thing, about people wanting everything to be given to them, and like, where's the book where you make it in Montreal? I want to know how you make it in Montreal. There's no book. You just have to actually talk to each other.
Is if you give me something, I owe. And I don't want to owe.
People will say they made you, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I put you on."
I have to keep your narrative because I owe you. If I work for whatever network or whatever thing you put to say, like, hey, you have to say this script because we owe you. You owe us. We put you in that place. Say what we want you to say. I don't want none of that. When
they're like that?
Of course they are.
Okay, so when you put somebody on, what kind of energy you have with them?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're speaking about them, how they operate.
Yeah. Okay. I don't care what the other person. When I give you whatever blueprint I have,
resource or a link.
Go for it. Prosper. Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what the thing I said before. Yeah. If you get to where I'm at, good. If you get even further than me, even better. I want to watch you go further and be super happy. And at the same time, hey, yo, what did you do to get that to super far? Now, I also know, and then if that works for me, it works for me. And if you go even further than me, that's fine. I think there's so many people that I've worked with that have asked me for resources that are now more successful than me.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm not hating. I don't care. Yo, do your thing.
Yours is yours. Yes.
I'm happy here. I don't need what you have. I don't live your life. I would like to be as successful in my own lane. But watching you do your thing doesn't make me hateful or jealous or doesn't take anything from me. It just literally proves that we can all go further in terms of community. That's what 2020 is for.
Yeah.
We all made our thing. We don't
need more vibes like that. Yeah, we definitely need more vibes like that, because the problem is that some guys are already in place and they don't even want to like even just give you a plug or even give you an insight. I'm not what I was referring to. I'm not saying that you should come to the table like, well, I don't know nothing, give me everything. But I'm saying like some guys that are in place, they won't even give you a little insight. They won't even give you a little plug, a little research. I say, Diddy, you like to do films? I interviewed Toni Morrison. I'm gonna link you up. That's an easy thing. They won't even do that. They're like, you know what? You got to work hard. Get a publicist. Get Toni Morrison.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I just don't.
Get on my radar.
It's just a
call. A lot of ego behind that. There's a lot of ego and a lot of credibility that they put on themselves, and a standard and a height that they put themselves. And it's just like, bro, you and I sat in the cafeteria eating the same sandwiches. I watched you, bro. You had holes in your jeans, bro. I was right there with you, and now you're trying to stand like you this. Come on now, stop playing that. Stop playing with that.
Honestly, people tend to forget that actual people know them and knew them and saw them grow. So
and then when you see them on the street and you see them at a public event, they're not looking your way. They're looking like
they don't know you. Like they're big time, Jay. They're big time now. They don't know you.
But here I am. I'm making the face. I'm looking at you like.
But see that.
Okay, I see you though.
That's the thing. I'm that type of petty where I will look at you and go.
I second that.
You don't see me? You don't need to. I'm gonna blow past you. Once I blow past you, I'm gonna welcome you back. But I'm gonna tell you I saw you. Yeah, remember that time you didn't see me? It was cool. Now you want to work with me? Cool. Let's work together. You start at the bottom.
Here's my fee. Exactly.
You didn't see me.
Here's my fee.
We good.
I like this panel.
You're not gonna get a handout. There's no handouts. You gotta work the way. There's like everybody's gotta work their way.
I do like that concept you have about show and proving. Because a lot of people want to come to the table. You got to show an appetite. You got to show a hunger. A lot of people don't have the hunger, and I can't focus you if you're not hungry. If you're not even half as hungry as I am, I can't focus you that. I think that's what you're talking about.
That's the thing. Like, there's the amount of times I've done like visual projects or videos or whatever else where I'm not even asking for money. I'm just asking for, no joke, the opportunity or just to learn what you're doing so that I can work. I like to soak up information. So if you're hosting a internet podcast and it's a full show, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I kind of want to do that, but I don't know how. And I'm looking at you. Okay, you have this camera there, this camera. This is what you do. Okay, cool. You have a producer here. Let me write that all in. Am I saying that tomorrow I'm going to have all of that in? No. But if I have to help somebody else produce a show and they have some of the resources and can go, you know what? You need a producer here. You need a person there. I can make the visuals here because I know what I'm doing here. I can work the camera because I know what I'm doing here. That's fine. Oh, you need a guest? Okay, I know somebody that used to be this type of person. We can put it as this. It works for the thing. And then y'all do your thing. If the podcast gets successful, great. I don't need credit. I don't need nothing. Just work your way in because that's your job.
You're passionate. It's about the craft. A lot of people just want the results. They don't want the work that comes behind it.
I want the result, but I want the result to be authentic and not owed. Because that way, once you have that thing that you made, and someone goes like, "Hey, man, we want to put your thing on CBC. Can you sell us that thing?" No. What for? What I need to say, I have my audience. We're 50,000 strong. So I don't need to sell it to you. We can work in a partnership. Y'all can pay to have, but I keep all the rights. Instead of the other way around where like you'll submit a show for CBC and you look at the contract and it goes, we owned you for 50, 100 years, perpetuity, infinity, and whatever else. Yeah. Then that doesn't work because then that message gets lost and then they can tell you and dictate what they want you to say.
Tell your story,
So I prefer the other way. We do our things. We decide, hey, these are the things that we have. Y'all want to come in, you have to deal with us. You have to deal us in. You have to make sure you are bringing us something that's advantageous to us, not to you. Because it doesn't work that way anymore. Like you said, we are the black man, the black people are the most imitated, reproduced people on the planet. Why are we giving
culture? Yes.
But you know, we keep giving it to them for free. The CBCs and the Globals and all those big networks and whatnot, and I'm not trying to call them out directly, but because we create content, they're the ones sending the message. Hey, so
they need us.
How about you give us a little bit of another topic? Can you come up with another topic for us? Like,
yes, please.
You're not getting anything for it. You're getting absolutely nothing for it.
They want all the content. We got it all.
Exactly.
We got it all. We create for them. We do all the legwork. They just make it happen. That's it.
I will say you can pay to host the show. You can pay to collaborator, but you ain't owning nothing. We were going to do what we're doing. I'm going to bring the audience to you, the audience that I've proved to you by working all these years, all these episodes by myself, by ourselves, bringing the people I know and showing other people how to do it. And then look, now you have, if you see these things like, oh, well, we have an audience of radio. I don't care about your audience. It don't matter. We can fire you. Go ahead, fire me. I have another audience. With me. That's the part that we need to do. If we support a business that's black owned, then they don't need help from the government because we have it. We're good.
Yeah.
It's if you want to do another community entity, we have them. We're good. We are supporting, sustaining ourselves. That way, you don't need to have a handout from the government. You don't need to have a handout from the city. You don't need. Let me see. You have a representative. Yes, you can have a representative that doesn't look like us. I don't think that's a bad thing. But they have to come to us and go, "What can I do for you?" So that I can go over there and say, "This is what they want." And if we don't give them what they want, well, I'm out of there and you're out of there. And that's what it's supposed to be like. And yes, obviously that's a lot of work and it's very idealistic. And I know it's not going to be like tomorrow we're all going to hold hands and kumbaya and everything's great. No. I know that's not how it is. But if we don't start with that type of mentality, we ain't going to go.
That's what took my boy Balarama Wholeness to get 22,000 signatures so that the city can be represented and make it known that there is systemic racism that exists, to get Valerie Plante to speak about it, to get Denis Kadef to speak about it, right? And all he needed was 615 or 16, and the man got 22. So it's like now that gave him a different motive. not only did he start out, Montreal en Action, but it gave him another motive to run for mayor. Like, I'm not gonna run for. I'm not gonna go run for Montreal North. Like, I'm gonna run for the friggin' city.
For the whole thing. I'm
gonna run for the whole thing. Like, I'm not just trying to represent people of color. I'm trying to represent the city because that's what the city needs.
Yeah.
And the main thing for Balarama is that he believes that anybody could run. It don't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what your education is. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you come from. The guy's like, yo, if you want to go and if you want to run for premier, go for it. Like, put your name in. Like, do the legwork. Get resourceful. Like, use your resources.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
Like, put all the tools together.
Oh man, this has been dope. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And so, with that, I think we all agree that the system that's set in place right now doesn't necessarily isn't tailored to, I'm going to say, minorities. It's set for the general public. I guess you'd say, like, the mass majority. So one of the biggest problems I always see that we have is that we try to develop something within an existing ecosystem that doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
How do we go about working it so that we can stop? I mean, we are like we're doing now, what Netley's talking about, what Wizzy's talking about, what John's talking about, doing the own thing. But how do we keep things on a level where we can be like, listen, I know this is what they're spitting. I know you can go get that fame, fortune, whatever. You can go get your 5 minutes of fame, but it's going to cost you, it's going to cost the rest of your wealth for the rest of your life. Like, you can be popular for 10 minutes, but for the rest of your life, you're going to be a has-been. Like, so how can we get that mentality flip within our own community? I'm not even talking about like in a map movement, just like within our own community, within our own people. How can we get people to understand that, like, listen, I know you're not going to be the most famous guy on the block. I know you're not going to be the dude who gets on all the posters, who's going to be on all the social media posts, but you're going to have a fucking good life because you're going to be working hard and you're going to sustain yourself. Mm-hmm. So how do we get that message across as opposed to the message that keeps getting put out where it's like, you got to be a baller, you got to be a rapper, you got to do this, you got to do that.
No, you got to be part of the 1%. You got to be part of the 1%. The 1% sale.
How do we teach that being conservative as a community is not failure? Like, we don't need to be the loud, boisterous person in the room. We don't need to wear 12 gold chains. We don't need to have we don't need to have Prada. We don't need to drive Phantoms. This whole ideal that we are valued by what we're able to ascertain financially is a very weird, complex thing that especially the Black community has dealt with for a very long time. Because we started out not having anything, but now we still kind of carry that facade of, when you reach a certain level, you've got to buy this, you got to get that, you got to have this, you got to do this. How do we get that message across where it's like, fuck status, just ascertain wealth, like mental and wealth that's going to pay dividends and down the line and transfer on to your kids and your kids' kids so that we can get everybody out of this fucking shithole. As opposed to you're gonna buy, a fancy car now, a fancy chain now, and then tomorrow you'll be broke as fuck.
I swear I had this discussion with one of my friends. It literally starts with the home. You have to teach your kids about actual dollars, not.
you got to teach them about actual dollars, and then you have to capitalize on that. Like you have to follow through with that. Like, so if you're the parent, you gotta follow through that. And you can't have that credit in bad, like, habits.
And you have to actually teach them about credit. You have to actually teach them about balancing a budget, because all that shit is not shit I learned in school.
With the Bitcoin now and everything, there's a lot of things.
Ain't shit that my parents told me because they didn't know how to do it. And it's stuff that we should be also teaching our community, meaning there's so many tax breaks. There's so many ways to just, let's say we all pitch in to buy a condo, flip it, buy something else, flip it, buy something else. We have to buy back our own neighborhoods. There's no reason Saint Michel couldn't be Black owned. There's no reason RDP can
There's
be black
a lot
owned.
of places that should be black owned.
No way we can't take back Burgundy. There's no way. There's no reason why it couldn't be done. There's no way why we can't put a group of investors to say, you know what? Let's teach people about, like you said, proper wealth, not getting rich, not rich quick schemes, not pyramid schemes, not like
not Loomis and gifting.
Yeah, we have to stop selling the dream that like if you're not rich, it's a failure. It's stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying in the beginning, the regular black thing. I don't need to be an extraordinary black person. I want to fight for the people that just want to be regular people that are black. You don't have to be the extreme, the baller, just.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, Diddy. I fucks with that.
Yeah, but you know, like when I think about Kevin Hart, because Kevin Hart had just did a partnership with Chase Bank.
Yeah.
And in one of his podcasts, he was mentioning about how he was talking to them, the president or the CEO, and was like, listen, we need to educate our culture, my culture. Like I need to educate them on how to manage their money, how to make money, and how to create like generational wealth.
Yeah.
He's like, but you can't be walking in with Scott over here in these black communities. Like if I walk with Scott into this black community, they're gonna look at Scott like, why the fuck you bring him in? He don't got a clue what we're living like.
Yeah.
Fair.
He doesn't even know how we grow up, who's our grandma down the street, how she takes care of us and my kids.
Yeah.
And I'm on welfare, I'm on the system. You can't bring Scott in here. So what he wanted to do was he wanted to make sure that he held himself accountable and set the example and was like, I'm gonna go into these communities and I'm gonna educate them on these basics, on these fundamental financial basics that we all are lacking that we need to have, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's gonna probably take. It's not just gonna come from the parents, but it's gonna come from like the ones who are educated on it, who have the savviness of it, the know-how, and have been duplicating it and replicating it over and over and over, and that can just speak on it like.
And why don't they teach it in schools? They don't teach you how to be a prime minister in school. They don't teach you financial literacy in school. So it's like they and this is what we're trying to tell Legault. This is what institutionalized systemic racism in schools is like. You're not giving us the tools to succeed. So by design, you guys want us to fail.
Yep.
So if we don't educate our own people, you know what I'm saying? We need better work done in our Black Communities Association. Yeah. I feel a lot of those are programs that get money from the government, but aren't teaching the programs to benefit the community that they're supposed to serve. So what the fuck is going on?
I think it's also important to like a lot of you, like I have a lot of white friends and I like hear about how they grew up and stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, that's not how I grew up. Like,
yeah, I love my white friends too, though.
Last time I checked, I have a white girlfriend, and she like the way she grew up and the way that I grew up is completely different.
Like, every year. I'm like, this was like a dream, like winning the lotto.
Yeah, but
we win every year.
I'll give you an example, right? Like I go to one friend's house. I remember as a kid, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting allowance. I'm getting like $10 a day." One, I said allowance.
A what?
A day?
I'm allowed. No, it was like an hour every week, right? And it's like, "Oh shit, you get money for this?" Like, all right, cool. I asked my mom. I got swiftly beaten, but she said you're allowed to live in my house and whatever else. But the part that's important was they didn't give that kid the $10 a week to go spend. They give that kid the $10 a week to put in a savings account to teach them how to save, and that money makes money, right? Because yes, I have other friends that are Black that had allowances, which I don't know how, but whatever. But that money was to go spend. So like you just learn that I got money, I'm supposed to get money to make more money, however means necessary, and spend it. But in other households, it was I'm teaching you to be responsible with how you do your money. I'm teaching you how to be responsible. If you do all these chores and jobs, you get this money, you get to save it, and then that money makes money, and then you can buy bigger things, and you can make your money work for you. And throughout them growing up, whether it's elementary and high school and whatever else, they get more and more tips from their parents on how to like save and invest in whatever else. We don't get that. We don't get the like, hey man, instead of like buying that pair of Jordans or whatever, and I'm not saying you can't buy that pair of Jordans. I'm saying that one pair that you want that year, invest that money, and then you can buy 10 pairs of Jordans that you want, right? That's not things that that they're teaching us or that our parents are teaching. But that's what again, like I said, sometimes when you want to see change, you have to start it within your own household, within your own self. Because if you don't start it there, it's not going to go nowhere. So my job, I can't tell my kids, Daddy, I want a pair of Jordans. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Don't make sense. It don't.
It's like
it don't make sense.
Sorry guys, I gotta leave, but this has been really fun. This has been really dope, man. Oh man, you guys killed me. Yo, Blake, anytime you get this pound together, call me, nigga. I'm in the building.
Oh, I'm
good night, guys.
I'm gonna call you because now that we know each other, see.
No, link up. Anyways, Blake.
I spoke up information. I'm gonna be about my life. I'm
definitely about that life. I'm definitely. I'll be in touch, guys. Easy.
So to answer your question, it's one, we have to invest in ourselves, 1,000%. Because if you don't think it's gonna work with us, it's not gonna work with everybody. It's not gonna work with anybody. You gotta invest in ourselves to make sure that we can do it, and then show the model. And then once you show the model, look, this is what we did, and we can expand this to other people, and other people can do it. Like I said, pass the baton. If we can't do that, we're not going to go anywhere. Every other community that is not us, look at Asian people, look at the Jewish community. They literally work within themselves. Look how many condos are sold to literally all Asian people in Montreal. You know what? How they do it? They pull all their money together.
Yep.
We're gonna buy this building.
Yep.
Once we buy this building of 100 condos, we're gonna sell it.
Yep.
That's how they do it.
Yeah.
They invest in themselves.
They keep it, and that's one of the things that we've always had a big trouble with Black communities, because we've always been pinned against each other.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning, we've been told that there are a few spots and there's a lot of us, and that you all have to compete amongst each other to get that spot.
Yeah,
it's not wrong in the grand scheme of, like, you know, the survival and being human being. It's true, but the fact of believing that we have gatekeepers that control those positions, that we need to prove ourselves to get those positions, that's where the real problem lies. Because we're asking for the ability to, one, compete, two, be good enough, and then three, be treated as equals, as opposed to just being like, well, if you don't want to treat me as an equal, that's cool, great, peace. Like you said, I'll go over here, we'll go knock out this wall, I'll make my own shit, and we'll go on our own ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, and not to say that people haven't been trying to do it for decades. Like, obviously, you know, they've been hit with a lot of, like, different things that have kept them down. But it's just, especially now in 2020, I think now we see this ability where we can start to do things for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to be caught in this, like, whirlwind of, like, I need reparations, I need this, I need to do this, they need to represent me, they need to understand this, they need to bow down to whatever. It's like, no, I don't need any of that. I just need you to move so I can do my own shit and make my own money. That's all I need.
At the end of the day, people will make money when they want to make money. And the powers that be, once they see they can make money, they will come to the table. Yeah. If you think that, I know it's the same example, but like, if you think that everybody that's Asian that comes from Vancouver that buys all these buildings are not stopped by any governmental body anywhere, it's because people can make money out of it. Yeah, it's rolling in the economy, and it makes sense for everybody. Because if it wasn't advantageous, they wouldn't let them do it. Yeah, that's just what it is. Yeah, that's how things work like that. So if you build your own thing and people go like, "Oh, there's money in that," they'll come. For sure, they'll show up. And then you can have your own rules.
If we created if there was a black coalition of investors that had money, that could put money aside and be like, we're going to do this, you bet your ass we could be all over it and be like, yeah, it's cool. We don't care. Yeah, come. We'll take your money. Yeah, it's fine.
Because then your color wouldn't be the first thing. They wouldn't care. It would be money.
They care about green. They want to
hide it. Exactly. Money green.
That's what it is.
It's about your skin color. It's like, no, dude.
And that's
care about just keep going.
even on like smaller scale. Even now, like I said, once you have your own audience, when people see, especially this year, that you don't need anybody, that you can make your own money. I don't need a brand to come in. I don't need to go follow a brand or like run after a brand to give me a sponsorship or whatever. They come to me. And then I can just say, no, it's not. I don't want. I don't. You don't represent
fit with mine now.
Oh, now how can we make it fit? Oh, okay. Because it used to be, we're gonna need you to do 7 videos and 3 whatever else, and it's like, all right, cool. And then we're gonna pay you that much. Now I can go. I ain't doing none of that shit.
Yo, that's so true though. That's like exactly.
It don't matter now. Now I get the stuff I need from other people.
Yeah.
If you want, I can give you 2 videos, and I set my price, and I do whatever I want, and I have no restrictions. And you take it or leave it. And if you don't want to do it, there's 4 others lined up, ready and willing to do the same thing. So y'all do what you need to do. I'm gonna do what I need to do. So if you want to make money, we can do it, but do it my way. And that's about it.
That happened to me literally last week. Literally.
And that's
buddy,
the best man.
with his bike shop, with his bike school. So he teaches motorcycle riding. And I had to move his motorcycles from one place to another place. So I helped him. He's like, "Can you give me a hand?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give you a hand today. Move some motorcycles." That day, 2 job offers to people. One from the place and one from my buddy. Like, why don't you come work for me and work on my bikes? I was like, "Nah, bro.
What?
I'm good." I was like, I make my own hours. I run my own shit. I'm my own boss. Because the problem is, if I work for you or I work for him, you guys run the show. I gotta come in on your time. You're gonna pay me what you want to pay me, and then what? All this hard work that I built myself,
it's gone.
Is for nothing. I built this. I started from nothing. I literally started by buying a shit motorcycle, that I stripped completely. I bought it for like $400. Stripped it. I didn't know shit about mechanics, bro. Like nothing. Stripped it, looked at every piece, examined everything. I bought books, I had chapters about mechanics, about motorcycle mechanics. I searched everything online. When I bought the bike, it didn't even start. Okay, the engine was seized. It didn't even start. I rebuilt everything, and I sold the bike to some kid who bought it off the roof for like 2 G's. See, the bike cost me like $400, and then they're like $350 in parts. Like I just sold it just to sell it. I didn't care about the profit. I was just like, whatever. I made this thing work now, and now it's legal. I did like whatever. I did this out of nothing, and then out of that, I remember I put a picture up on the internet, and then this guy used to always buy parts off of, and from my motorcycle and stuff, was like, "Yo, you fix bikes?" I was like, "Well, I fixed this one, and I built this one," and he's like. He's like, "Yo, why don't you come work for me?" I was like, "Well, I don't really want to work for anybody, man. I'm trying to build my own shit." He goes, "I'll tell you what." He's like, "Come intern for me. Like, I'll pay you for it, but at the same time, help me out for the summer." He's like, "I need a mechanic." I was like, "All right, I'll intern for you, show him some stuff, and then after that, I'm gone." Which is what I did. I learned more from him. I learned like on all the other models, Harleys, name it. Like I learned everything because he had a high volume of bikes coming in. And then I was like, the deal was at this season, I'm out. That's it. It's good. Me and him are still friends. Like I get my parts off him for any parts for people's bikes. Like he doesn't use it for cost. But now I got 2 people offer me, 2 people offer me jobs. I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm good. I got my own shit going here, and I'm making more money than I would make working for you."
For sure.
I'm straight. Like why? I don't need you. I don't need your shit. And that's
you don't need it.
I'm trying to show my kids like, don't depend on anybody. Depend on your fucking self. Like, yo, fuck everybody. I don't care. No, but for real though, like,
I agree.
But my fight name is Jamal the Assassin, right? Because my mentality is fuck everybody. It's it's kill everybody. And then I
agree though. I agree.
If they're not on your level, kill them. Fuck it. Get them the fuck out of here. They're not on your level. They're not helping you. They can't help you advance in the world, or they can't help you. They can't teach you anything, or they're just gonna bring it up. Kill them. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
Wow. 1,000%. I agree.
Fuck out of here. And that's how I roll. I'm like, fuck everybody until you can teach me or show me that you're on the
For
same
value,
level,
yes,
or
you need to have value.
or the same goal as me, or moving the same direction as me, I ain't got nothing for you, man. And that's how I am.
Or they're on another level. They're on another level, Jamal, and they're just like, yo, this is how I got here. I got some tools for you. I got some vision for you. I got some
I'll pick their
Then
brain.
we
substance for you.
Pick their brain,
Yeah.
bro. Legit. But like, unless you're just somebody who's like, well, how can I be that way? But they don't want to. They're not a hustler. They're not hungry. I'm like, bro, I can't help you because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then you're not going to do anything. And now all I did is I wasted an hour talking to you, and you didn't do shit.
Yeah, you have to add value to you. They can't just like be taking shit. Yeah, I understand.
But at the same time, you're not gonna, like it or not, you're not gonna reach everybody.
No,
That's what I'm saying, right?
You're in 10 people, you're gonna reach one, but that one might reach 10 others. And that's the part that's like, all right, cool, I did the right part. So even if you waste an hour, be glad that you just wasted 1 hour. That you didn't waste a year, you didn't waste a whatever. But I understand what you mean.
It depends from what though. Like it depends
Exactly.
on what.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people, they see me doing certain things. Like,
obviously,
how'd you get that? I'm like, what do you mean? How did I hustle, guy? I'm out here fucking working, B. Like you don't even understand. Like I'm like, oh, guy, this is what I do. Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that's a phobia that the community suffers from as well, is because we also get this weird belief where if we're leaving anybody behind, we're going the wrong way. Like everybody's got to be picked. Like everyone's got to have everyone else's hand, and we got to walk forward. The sad truth of life is, and you learn that playing sports, you learn that doing whatever it is you're doing, is that there's a lot of people who are going to be with you in certain situations, but when shit hits the wall, everyone's going to.
Yep.
And like Jamal said, like it's a sad situation that we have to deal with in life.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that, especially if we are trying to drive the community in a new direction, there will be a lot of people who hold on to the old ways because it's what they're familiar with. They don't want to deal with the new pain. They want to stay with the old pain because it's something that they know is coming. They know their place. They know their position. They're not necessarily comfortable. And they may actually try to stop others from going in the new direction for that very reason, because they don't want the boat to be shaken. They think they've reached the apex of their life. And if they have anybody else shake the boat, they're afraid they're going to lose what they have. A lot of the times when you have, like we were talking before, those people who don't open up doors, it's because they think they've reached their apex. They think they've reached their moment. Like that's their time. They don't want to let go of that. So they don't want to risk bringing somebody else in who's going to change the game. They don't want to risk bringing in somebody else who may do something better than them because they feel that they'll lose the shit. They'll lose it. They don't
like Jamal said, kick him out the car, kill him. It's fine.
I mean,
if I'm driving up and you don't want to be in the car no more, get the hell out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick you out the car. If I'm on the boat and we're going to a place you don't want to go, cool. Hope you got a life jacket and you learn how to swim. My boat's going. So
start fucking swimming.
My boat's going.
It's as bad as I don't like, bro. I'm the biggest team player. I was in the army. Like I'm all about team.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I feel if you're not carrying your weight, I'm like, dog,
you're done.
You can't. I can't.
The army mentality, which makes sense. We're all going in one direction, and we're all supposed to be together. And if you can't do it, get the fuck out.
You're counterproductive.
You're a liability. Yes. If we're all rowing, and we're all rowing, I'm not saying I'm steering the boat. I'm saying I'm rowing, and I want you to row with me. This is how we're rowing. We're rowing this way. You go, I don't want to row. You're compromising the whole boat. You gotta go.
I was a paratrooper, okay? And the paratrooper company every morning would run PT every fucking morning. It didn't matter, rain, snow, we're running, guy. It was like the tour of the base was 6.5 kilometers. Now the rest of every other unit had to do it in like 30 minutes. 6.5 kilometers, 30 minutes, still a fast pace. Airborne company, which is what I'm in. Let's do like the commandos, the elite. Ours was 24 minutes. You gotta run 6.5 kilometers every fucking morning in 24 fucking minutes. Now, I don't know if you ever ran.
I throw up every
day. Listen.
No. Wait. No. Jamal, 6 kilometers.
6.5
is like a lifetime for some people.
But It is.
6.5 is like a lifetime for people.
But it is, right? So like they're making us do this every morning in 24 minutes. And if you don't come in 24 minutes, you get a warning. So like, listen, you fucked up this morning. You didn't come in 24 minutes. You're supposed to be part of the fucking elite. You got a fucking maroon beret. This is what this shit fucking represents. This is we're the tip of the spear. We're the fucking, we're the guys who are one that looks up to. All right. 2 or 3 times, they'll kick you though.
Out.
Bye. Go see.
We can't use you. Yes.
Yeah. You are now in B company, bro. This is A company.
I'm not feeling it. Listen, I didn't make it. Let me go back down to that thing where I can, learn more skills and try to get better, whatever else. And if I'm back on the pace, I can come back. But at the same time, too, if I can cut it now, I don't cut it. It's fine. That means they need somebody better. It's the army. We're supposed to be the best of the best. I'm not the best. Why am I here?
But that's why my mentality is. It goes back to that. It's even when I coach football. It's the same thing. I push these kids like you wouldn't believe. Okay, like I'm bad with these kids. Like I go into my army days. This shit is it's ridiculous.
How old are the kids?
They're 17. They're going to call the next year.
They got it.
I get on them hard, like kids come to practice, I'm like, yo, where's your socks at? He's like, oh, my mom didn't pack it in my bag. I'm like,
your mom?
Your what? What? I'm like, is your mom practicing tonight? Is your mom going to be on the field tonight with her helmet? No? Oh, I didn't fucking think so. You're going to be here to fucking feel you're coming, right? He's like, yeah. So why the fuck would your mom pack your fucking socks in your fucking bag?
Good.
And they're all looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no. You should be packing your own shit. So then I go to the parents. I'm like, I have team meetings with parents before when the season starts. And I'm like, parents, I'm going to tell you this flat out. I'm strict as fuck. I will bench your kid. I will make your kid run. I will make your kid do bear crawls. I will make your kid roll the entire football field because you brought him late. I don't care. Unless you were late from work, I get it's a different story. But if your kid was just sitting at home playing PS4, didn't want to get dressed on time to get to practice, guess what? I'm on their ass.
It's fine.
And this is the way I am. And I tell them
commitment.
And I told them flat out, I said, don't pack your kids back either, because at the end of the day, you're not running laps. They are.
They're not playing on the field.
Yeah.
Parents are playing on the field.
But I'm with my kids. I'm down with my kids. My kids are 5 and 4.
You're gonna be like that.
My kids.
It's fine.
I'm on my kids now because my whole philosophy is be hard on them now, so later on I'm gonna be hard on them.
Don't think about saying you're hard on them. Saying you're teaching values. That's the thing.
I am teaching the values. Everything is structure.
But that's not. If it's structured, don't ever think, because the part where like people think, oh, I'm hard on them. You're not being hard on them. You're literally imparting wisdom on them. This is how you have to be in life. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work out. If you don't do these things for yourself, it's not going to work out. I'm not just being hard. Being hard means like there's another way that's easy. No. This is the way you got to be. You got to be consistent. You got to do your own thing. You have to like make sure you don't get handouts, so that you have to try hard yourself. Give the best out of yourself every single time. Wherever you go, put your best foot forward. That way you can be a regular person. You don't have to be exceptional. You just have to be regular. It's your base. Your base is going to be, I do my best.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. I have to go as well. I don't know when this is closing.
Yeah, let's wrap up. Yeah, I think we can wrap up.
Good.
I want to thank all of you for taking part in this. I very much appreciate it. I promise you we will do this again, because this was absolutely amazing. I love having smart people talk. It's great. So thanks anyone who's listening. This has been the Uncommon Sense Podcast episode. I think I'm at 13. Thanks for listening, and I'll make sure I put everybody's Instagram and everything. So if you could send that to me over Instagram DM, I will make sure I put it in the description. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
All right. Bye. Good night, guys. It was fun.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good holiday season, everybody.
Thank you. Happy New Year. All that.
Same.